Millionaires don't just work, they fall in love with their work. For Mr. Warren, carpet cushion wasn't just a product, it was freedom, fun, and the thrill of closing multimillion-dollar deals. His passion turned ordinary sales into extraordinary success, proving that wealth follows those who truly enjoy the ride. Millionaires love their careers. Mr. Warren is like most millionaires in this regard. He was able to perform at an extraordinarily high level because of his love for his business. The task of selling to major accounts also allowed him to fully utilize his abilities, and as long as no one looked at his academic credentials, he could keep his job. Remember that Mr. Warren was surrounded by other executives at the corporate headquarters. In his mind, these people had excellent academic records. At times, Mr. Warren even felt like an imposter. How else could he explain his lofty position in corporate America? Mr. Warren's love for his job kept him producing at a very high level. Such patterns are well documented by the results of my national survey of millionaires. In fact, there is a direct positive correlation between the love of one's vocation and level of net worth. You are much more likely to become wealthy in the future if you enjoy your vocation. The effect of positive energy and emotion that can be directed into one's career cannot be understated. How could someone fall in love with carpet cushion? In Mr. Warren's case, it was not just carpet cushion that turned him on. I liked the carpet business. What I liked most was the freedom of being on the road and the people I was associated with. It was about the loosest industry I could ever have conceived of. They had great trade shows. The carpet business was really a fun business to be in. I was selling carpet cushion, and the job really was more than selling. It was entertaining and public relations. Call it what you like, selling, public relations, or entertaining. Mr. Warren was the major force in cutting deals with the biggest industrial buyers of carpet cushion. In this role he was happy and riding high in the so-called economic saddle. Accordingly, he spent much of his income saving little for a rainy day. Mr. Warren, the young high-income producer, thought of himself as invincible. He was the top sales executive in the industry, and his company relied on him to generate an increasing number of multimillion-dollar deals. He sold day and night, weekdays and weekends, so he had no time to worry about saving and investing a portion of his large salary. He was the ultimate consumer, spending liberally on products and services that don't retain their value. He enjoyed spending big dollars on custom suits and, of course, luxury home furnishings. One morning, Mr. Warren was summoned to the office of his CEO. Without any warning, he was told that the company had been sold. Even worse, the corporation that acquired it had zero interest in retaining Mr. Warren as its head of sales. Yes, in an instant his dream job vanished. The loss of his job conjured up many ghosts that he had repressed, all those dreaded memories of his early experiences in a household under severe economic strain returned. Equally frightening, Mr. Warren recalled all those DS and FS on his college transcript. Who would hire him with such a horrible record? Reversals can have positive influences, and Mr. Warren's trauma paved the way for him to become a multimillionaire by owning his own business. I didn't opt for self-employment. I was forced into it. The company I worked for, they were sold, and I was fired. 1. Lost the job because I was the highest paid man in the company. Where am I going to get a job? I wasn't hireable because I was making so much damn money. And I was not a college graduate. Shortly after he received the bad news, Mr. Warren was told to return the company car he had recently received. So he walked out to the car and just sat in it, reflecting on his misfortune. I just sat there bawling my eyes out. It was horrible. Not long after, Mr. Warren received a call from the CEO and owner of a carpet manufacturing company who'd heard the news about his dismissal. The CEO knew of his extraordinary ability to sell carpet cushion, and although he wasn't in a position to hire him, he did propose an alternative solution. He suggested that Mr. Warren establish a sales agency, and Mr. Warren took his advice. It was not an easy transition. It required a great deal of hard work and living on a Spartan household budget. It also meant that Mr. Warren had to give up living and working in New York City. It was a major change. To move from cosmopolitan New York City to carpet country USA, in Dalton, Georgia, but he did it. So I went to Dalton, Georgia. This guy down there really gave me a break, put me in business. He supported me with inventory and price and everything else that anybody could ever need to be successful. He knew I could sell carpet. In his mind, Mr. Warren had no choice but to start his own business, because he thought it was the only way he could earn as much as he once had in his dream job as a corporate executive. He believed that no corporation in America would be able to compensate him at such a high level. It took me about 7 years to get back on my feet from the great job I had. I saw the opportunity. Mr. Warren's modesty is one of the reasons that he is such a likable fellow. He typically understates both his aptitude and his achievements, and repeatedly reflects on his shortcomings as a marginal high school student, college dropout, fired executive, and struggling entrepreneur. He underplays his achievements, and even today he constantly wonders how he ever became a financial success. Deep down inside he feels that college dropouts are not supposed to succeed in the American economy. Started from scratch and I built the business. It doesn't sound like much, but from $0 to $30 million. In the carpet industry, that's a pretty big thing. Today, Mr. Warren still works hard, but at a different kind of work. He spends many hours managing and planning his investments. He will never again take his financial success for granted. He never forgot for a single moment what it was like to have a lot of cash as a young executive and then lose all of it. According to Mr. Warren, the 7 years that it took to rebuild his financial position were, in his words, absolute torture. It was horrible. This experience is still today a strong motivator. He has a terrible fear of having to go through it all again. I swear if I ever lost it all and I didn't see any chance to live with any comfort at all, if it was just back to that drudgery, I'd rather die. It's fear of real poverty. I never want to be that poor again. There is no doubt that self-confidence and positive thinking play a role in explaining success, but then how can we explain Mr. Warren's achievements? In general, he has a lack of confidence and he is more negative in his thinking than positive. He is motivated by fear. He fears returning to the position of poverty he and his family once experienced. He did have confidence, however, that he could always outsell all his competition. This confidence, coupled with his need to avoid poverty, thrust him into the entrepreneurial environment. He believed that I was not hireable, couldn't get a job. So in his mind, self-employment was his last hope. He believed that no major corporation would give him a second look, because he was a college dropout. He believed that only the beautiful people are hired for big bucks by major corporations. Mr. Warren never thought of himself as being a member of the Beautiful People Club. If he did, he probably wouldn't be a multimillionaire today. Consider Mr. Warren's own thoughts about the what ifs in his life. I think about this all the time. I dwell on these things. A company, they hire these kids right out of college and they get the cream of the crop, beautiful people. My friend, they principal, CEO and owner of a major carpet company. He would hire the top students from his alma mater. And you'd see these guys and they look like they never sweated and were tall and handsome. All these guys that got these great jobs. I used to say, boy, if I only looked that way and had the academic credentials, how much easier my life would have been. If Mr. Warren could turn the clock back, he would have the opportunity to get all A's in high school and college and earn an MBA from a top university. Then he would be hired as a junior executive like the rest of the beautiful people. Then he would exude confidence and be much more positive about his economic prospects. But does Mr. Warren really want to turn the clock back? Does he really miss not being beautiful? No, he does not. His thinking about this closely parallels the results gleaned from my surveys. Most people who become wealthy in one generation had no choice They had to be financially independent. Many realized that being an employee smothers the fire in one's gut. Mr. Warren's goal was to become a financially independent person by building wealth. His net worth was his main defense against poverty. His entrepreneurial endeavor produced this wealth, along with 7 years of living a frugal, bare-bones lifestyle. He maintains that he would never have felt compelled to become a millionaire if he had the credentials and confidence to be a corporate executive. If I had the credentials to be an executive, I would have accepted mediocrity. I didn't plan on getting into the carpet business. Frankly, had I been able to get a decent job, I would have never gone into business for myself. I was forced into self-employment. According to Mr. Warren, the beautiful people have their own form of capital. Their education, resume, and transcripts with all as their wealth. It is their way of surviving and protecting their lifestyles. But, without an outstanding resume, Mr. Warren felt that he had to substitute. His fortress is his financial success. He built wealth because he bet the farm on his business venture, and if he'd had other options, he would never have worked so hard and become really wealthy. The data from my surveys support Mr. Warren's assertions. People like Mr. Warren have learned that there is no such thing as a permanent job. Working for others. In college he learned that he was not intellectually gifted. Thus, the only way he could succeed was to outwork the beautiful people. This, coupled with his willingness to take entrepreneurial risk, made him a wealthy man. What did Mr. Warren discover eventually about America? We are a society that gives 2, 3, 4, even 10 chances to people who wish to achieve, and success will not be withheld from those who use their early failures as a foundation for success.